pause. Amanda's breath caught. "What are you saying?" He exhaled. "I want us to pretend, just for a while, a fake relationship, appearances until this storm dies down." The words stunned her. Pretend to be his woman again? Her heart twisted. She couldn't. It was dangerous for her heart, for her secret. "Derek," she whispered, shaking her head. "That's not a good idea." "Listen," he said quietly. "I know what I'm asking, but this is business. You'd be paid generously, and you'd help me save my reputation." His gaze softened. "Help yourself, too. You've seen the headlines, the things they're saying about you." Amanda clenched her fists. He was right. The online trolls were vicious. Gold digger, social climber, baby trapper. Ugly words. "I need you beside me, for the cameras, for appearances." "Just for a few weeks," Derek added. Amanda swallowed hard. Her mind raced. If she said no, the scandal would grow. Her career might take a hit. Her life already felt invaded. But if she said yes, could she stand being so close to him? Could she keep Pearl a secret? Could she survive pretending when her heart had never truly healed? "You don't have to answer now," Derek said softly. "Think about it." That evening, Amanda sat on her couch, Pearl curled asleep against her. The TV buzzed softly in the background, another entertainment news segment flashing Derek's face across the screen. Billionaire Derek Khalifa back in Lagos. Mystery woman sparks relationship rumors. Amanda's chest ached. She glanced down at Pearl, brushing a kiss over her tiny cheek. How long could she keep this secret? If she agreed to Derek's plan, Pearl would be around him, more risk of discovery. But if she refused, her own life, her work, might be torn apart. Tears burned her eyes. She had survived these 4 years alone. She had built a quiet life. Now Derek Khalifa was back, pulling her into a dangerous game. And one truth remained. Pearl was his daughter. And he didn't know. "4 years ago, Amanda Edu had given her heart and her body to her brother's best friend, Derek Khalifa. That night had changed her life forever. She had loved him with a reckless devotion only youth could justify. He had been everything to her. Older, powerful, dangerously charming. The man she had crushed on since she was 16, her brother Tunde's closest friend. And when that one unforgettable night happened, when he finally touched her, whispered her name in the dark, Amanda had believed foolishly that it meant something more. But the next morning he had left, without a word, without a call. No explanation, just silence. And when weeks later, Amanda found out she was pregnant, Derek Khalifa was already gone. Gone to London. Gone to build his empire. Gone from her life and from Lagos. She hadn't told her brother. She hadn't told Derek. She had carried her secret alone. And now, 4 years later, Amanda stood in the glittering lobby of Khalifa Group headquarters in Victoria Island, Lagos, her heart thundering. She was here as a PR consultant, a role she had taken months ago, unaware it would pull her back into his world. And today, he was back. Derek Khalifa had returned to Lagos. Amanda's fingers trembled slightly as she smoothed her emerald green dress and stepped into the private elevator. Her reflection stared back from the polished walls, full lips, flawless dark skin, diamond pendant at her throat. She looked strong, composed. But inside, a storm raged. Not just for herself, but for Pearl, their daughter, the child he didn't know existed. Amanda drew a breath as the elevator chimed and opened onto the executive floor. The air smelled of wealth marble floors, sleek glass, subtle cologne. And then he was there, standing by the tall window, Lagos skyline glittering behind him, his presence as magnetic as ever. Derek Khalifa. Older now, harder, more dangerous. Dressed in a charcoal suit that clung to broad shoulders, sharp jaw shadowed with stubble, those same dark eyes that once burned her alive. Her breath caught. He turned slowly and their eyes met. For a heartbeat, time stopped. Amanda. His voice was low, rough silk. I didn't know you'd be here. She lifted her chin. Neither did I. 4 years of silence lay between them. 4 years of heartbreak, of resentment, of raising a child alone. He stepped closer, eyes darkening. It's been years. Yes, her voice remained steady. 4. The past hung heavy in the air. She remembered everything. The way he had kissed her. The way he had taken her only to vanish like a ghost. And how, after the tears dried, she swore never to let him near her heart again. You look different, Derek said softly. Amanda forced a smile. We all grow up eventually. His eyes lingered, hungry, regretful. Before he could speak, his assistant entered. Sir, the press is outside. Word got out you're back in Lagos. Derek's jaw tensed. Have them cleared. Turning back to Amanda, voice low. Walk with me? For a moment, she hesitated, then nodded. They moved through the marble corridor, old tension crackling between them. You disappeared, Amanda said quietly. Derek's gaze sharpened. I didn't mean to. Bitterness swelled. You didn't even call. His voice dropped. It's complicated. She folded her arms, her shield. There are things you don't know. Their eyes locked. Sparks flared. Then flash, a camera. A photographer had slipped past security. Without thinking, Derek grabbed her hand, pulling her close, protective. Stay still, he murmured against her ear. For a second, the old heat burned through her. The cameras clicked wildly, capturing the image. Lagos's most eligible billionaire, back in town with a stunning mystery woman on his arm. By evening, the photo was everywhere. Who is the woman with Derek Khalifa? Social media exploded. PR teams buzzed. That night, Amanda sat in her small apartment, Pearl asleep in her arms. She stared at the viral photo on her phone, her pressed against Derek's tall frame, and her heart pounded. He was Pearl's father. And soon, the secret she had kept for 4 years would no longer stay buried. The following morning, Amanda's phone buzzed nonstop. Messages, emails, calls, all saying the same thing. Derek Khalifa wants to see you, urgently. She sat at her tiny dining table, her laptop open, Pearl humming softly as she played with her dolls on the floor. Amanda ran her fingers through her braids, heart racing. How could one accidental photo cause such chaos? But then again, nothing about Derek Khalifa was small. His life was on the front page of every gossip blog in Lagos, and now, so was she. Amanda exhaled, trying to focus on Pearl. Her daughter's soft giggle melted her heart. His daughter. Amanda's secret for 4 long years. She brushed her fingers over Pearl's silky curls, a pang of guilt tightening in her chest. How much longer could she hide the truth? Before she could spiral further, her phone rang again, her team lead. Amanda, Mr. Khalifa asked me to personally remind you, 10 a.m. sharp, private boardroom. She had no choice. By 9:45, Amanda was stepping out of her Uber in front of Khalifa Tower's sunglasses, shielding her eyes, her heart pounding in her chest. Her emerald-wrapped dress hugged her curves, heels clicking softly across the marble as she entered. The entire staff seemed to stare. Everyone knew the photo. Everyone had seen it. Whispers followed her down the hall. That's her, the mystery woman. Amanda forced her chin up. She would not shrink. By the time she reached the private boardroom, Derek was already there, tall, composed, dangerous in a sharp gray suit. His dark gaze locked onto her the moment she entered. Sit, he said softly, gesturing to the chair beside him. The door clicked shut behind her. The tension was thick. Amanda. His voice was low, almost hoarse. I owe you an apology. She blinked, surprised. For what? For what happened years ago? His jaw tensed. And for yesterday. I didn't mean to drag you into this. Amanda swallowed hard, her pulse racing. It's fine. These things happen. He gave a small, humorless smile. Not when your name is Derek Khalifa. In one night, the internet crowned you my lover. She flushed slightly. That's their business. Derek leaned forward, eyes dark, intent. It's our problem now, and I need your help. Amanda's stomach flipped. My help? He nodded. The media frenzy is out of control. Investors are watching. Board members are asking questions. The photo made it look like something more. A pause. Amanda's breath caught. What are you saying? He exhaled. I want us to pretend, just for a while, a fake relationship, appearances until this storm dies down. The words stunned her. Pretend to be his woman again? Her heart twisted. She couldn't. It was dangerous for her heart, for her secret. Derek, she whispered, shaking her head. That's not a good idea. Listen, he said quietly. I know what I'm asking, but this is business. You'd be paid generously, and you'd help me save my reputation. His gaze softened. Help yourself, too. You've seen the headlines, the things they're saying about you. Amanda clenched her fists. He was right. The online trolls were vicious. Gold digger, social climber, baby trapper. Ugly words. I need you beside me, for the cameras, for appearances. Just for a few weeks, Derek added. Amanda swallowed hard. Her mind raced. If she said no, the scandal would grow. Her career might take a hit. Her life already felt invaded. But if she said yes, could she stand being so close to him? Could she keep Pearl a secret? Could she survive pretending when her heart had never truly healed? You don't have to answer now, Derek said softly. Think about it. But then his gaze locked onto hers, darker, hungrier. Amanda, his voice dropped. You look incredible. Her pulse skittered. She stood quickly. I'll think about it. And with that, she hurried from the room before her walls could crumble. That evening, Amanda sat on her couch, Pearl curled asleep against her. The TV buzzed softly in the background, another entertainment news segment flashing Derek's face across the screen. Billionaire Derek Khalifa back in Lagos. Mystery woman sparks relationship rumors. Amanda's chest ached. She glanced down at Pearl, brushing a kiss over her tiny cheek. How long could she keep this secret? If she agreed to Derek's plan, Pearl would be around him, more risk of discovery. But if she refused, her own life, her work, might be torn apart. Tears burned her eyes. She had survived these 4 years alone. She had built a quiet life. Now Derek Khalifa was back, pulling her into a dangerous game. And one truth remained. Pearl was his daughter. And he didn't know. By morning, Amanda had barely slept. She had spent most of the night sitting by Pearl's bed, watching her daughter's peaceful face, her little secret, her biggest love. And now, the world was spinning too fast. Derek's request echoed in her mind. A fake relationship, for appearances, just a few weeks. But deep inside, Amanda knew it wouldn't be that simple. Not when her heart still remembered every touch, every kiss. Not when her body still trembled at the sound of his voice. Could she really stand by his side, pretend to be his lover, while keeping the truth buried? Amanda rose slowly, her mind made up. She had survived worse. She would survive this too. She would protect Pearl no matter what. By noon, she was standing once more in the sleek boardroom of Khalifa Towers, her emerald dress replaced by a sharp black pencil skirt and cream blouse. The door opened and Derek entered, alone this time. Their eyes met. Tension crackled in the air. Amanda drew a slow breath. I'll do it. For a second, Derek blinked surprised. You'll do it? She nodded. Your fake relationship, for a few weeks, strictly professional. A small smile tugged at his lips, something unreadable flashing in his eyes. I knew you'd say yes. Amanda straightened. But there are conditions. Derek arched a brow. I'm listening. First, I keep my independence. I'm not your property. You don't control where I go or who I see. Agreed. Second, no real intimacy. Public only. Cameras only. No private moments. A flicker of heat crossed his gaze. That will be the hardest. Amanda ignored the flutter in her chest. Third, this ends the moment your media crisis is over. Derek nodded. Done. Then softer. You drive a hard bargain, Amanda. She met his gaze head on. I've learned. A tense silence followed, filled with old regrets and unsaid truths. Finally, Derek broke it. Our first appearance is tonight. Amanda blinked. Tonight? He nodded. The Lagos Business Gala. Every major investor and media outlet will be there. The perfect stage. Amanda swallowed. That's soon. Derek's voice lowered. I'll send a car for you. And a dress. I can choose my own dress. Amanda shot back. A soft chuckle. Of course. His gaze lingered on her for a beat too long, full of hunger and regret. Then with a slight nod, he left, leaving Amanda alone with her racing heart. That evening, as Amanda stood in front of her modest mirror, she stared at her reflection, hardly recognizing the woman there. Her fitted black gown clung to every curve, her skin glowing, her eyes smoky with makeup, her braids swept into an elegant updo. She looked powerful, beautiful, but inside her nerves churned. Could she really do this? Pearl played quietly nearby, dressed in her pajamas, clutching her teddy bear. Mama, you look like a princess, she giggled. Amanda's heart melted. Thank you, baby. A knock sounded at the door. Her Uber had arrived. Moments later, Amanda was stepping into the sleek black car, her heart pounding. By the time she reached the gala venue, the Grand Imperial Hotel in Victoria Island, her palms were damp with nerves. Flashes from paparazzi cameras lit up the night. Then, as if summoned by fate, Derek appeared at her side, tall and devastating, in a sharp tuxedo. His eyes swept over her, dark and hungry. You look breathtaking, he murmured. Amanda's breath caught. Before she could speak, Derek slipped his arm around her waist, pulling her close. For appearances, he whispered. Her body betrayed her, shivering at his touch. Together they entered the grand ballroom. Heads turned, cameras flashed. Whispers followed them like shadows. Is that her? The mystery woman? Derek's lover? Amanda lifted her chin, her gaze cool. She would not crumble. As the night unfolded, they moved through the crowd, posing for photos, answering polite questions, playing the perfect couple. But beneath the polished surface, Amanda's heart raced. Every time Derek's hand brushed her skin, every time his dark gaze lingered, old memories surged. And worse, an aching longing she couldn't deny. By the third hour, she needed air. Slipping away to the balcony, Amanda breathed deeply, the cool night calming her. But moments later, she felt him. Derek. He stepped out behind her, the door clicking shut. For a beat, they stood in silence. Lagos city lights twinkling below. Then, softly, he spoke. Amanda, why did you never tell me? Her heart stopped. What do you mean? She whispered. His gaze pierced her. That night, what it meant to you. Amanda swallowed hard, forcing herself to lie. It didn't mean anything. We were foolish, young. But her voice shook, and Derek saw through it. In 2 strides, he closed the distance, towering over her, his scent wrapping around her. Amanda, he murmured, don't lie to me. Her breath caught. She couldn't do this. Not here. Not now. With trembling hands, she turned away. This is a business arrangement, nothing more. But her voice lacked conviction. Derek's voice was softer now, filled with regret. I never wanted to hurt you, he said, but I had my reasons, things I couldn't tell you then. Amanda's heart twisted. I don't care, she whispered. A lie. And they both knew it. The next few days blurred in a whirlwind of appearances. Every morning, Amanda would open her phone to new headlines. Derek Khalifa's new romance heats up. Mystery woman steals Lagos's most eligible billionaire. And in every photo, there she was, on Derek's arm, smiling, posing, pretending. At business launches, charity galas, private dinners, the game continued. But behind every polished smile, Amanda's heart trembled. Because every time Derek's hand touched her waist, every time his dark gaze met hers, her carefully built walls cracked, and she could feel herself slipping. It was a Thursday afternoon when the first real slip happened. The venue, the Khalifa Foundation's Children's Hospital launch in Ikoyi. It was supposed to be simple speeches, photos, handshakes. But Amanda had not expected this. A room full of children smiling, innocent, giggling. And there, in the middle of them, a little girl about Pearl's age ran straight toward Derek. Without thinking, Amanda's breath caught. She froze, heart hammering. Because for a split second as Derek knelt to greet the child, his smile softening, she saw it. Pearl's future. Her daughter, growing, needing a father. And this man so close, yet so far. Amanda blinked back tears. Her hands trembled. She didn't notice Derek's eyes watching her, sharp questioning. Later, as the crowd thinned, Derek drew her aside. In a quiet alcove, away from cameras, he spoke low. Amanda, what happened back there? She forced a smile. Nothing. Just tired. He didn't believe her. You looked shaken. Is something wrong? She swallowed hard. Every instinct screamed to run to bury the truth deeper. But Derek's voice softened. You know, you can trust me, he said gently. Her heart twisted. If only he knew. Instead, she forced her voice steady. I'm fine, really. But as she turned to leave, Derek caught her wrist, not roughly but firm. Amanda, why do I feel like you're hiding something from me? Her breath stopped. She looked up straight into his eyes, and for one terrifying second, the truth trembled on her lips. Pearl is your daughter. But then, Pearl's face flashed in her mind. The risk, the danger. She couldn't. Not yet. Amanda pulled away gently. This is business, Derek, she whispered. Nothing more. And she walked off, her heart breaking a little more with every step. That night at home, Amanda barely touched her food. Pearl sat beside her at the small dining table, babbling happily about her day at preschool. Mama, guess what? The little girl grinned. We painted today, and Miss Ada said mine was the prettiest. Amanda forced a smile. Of course it was, my love. But her mind wasn't here. Her gaze lingered on Pearl's delicate features, the way her smile mirrored Derek's, her stubborn chin, her dark eyes. The resemblance was growing clearer by the day, and Amanda knew. She couldn't hide this much longer. The next afternoon, everything changed. Amanda had just finished a lunch meeting when her phone buzzed. A message from Derek. Dinner tonight, 7 p.m., my place, no cameras, just us. Her pulse jumped. Just us? She stared at the message, unsure. Every instinct warned her this was dangerous. But another voice whispered, go. And before she could talk herself out of it, her fingers typed back, I'll be there. 7 p.m. sharp, Amanda's Uber glided into the private driveway of Derek's Banana Island mansion. Nerves fluttered in her stomach as she stepped out, heels clicking softly against the marble. A uniformed butler greeted her. Mr. Khalifa is expecting you. Moments later, she stood in the grand living room, all glass walls and soft lighting. The Lagos skyline glittering beyond. And there he was. Derek, Ramon, tall, dangerous, devastating in a simple black shirt and slacks. For a moment, no cameras, no crowds. It was just them. Amanda's breath caught. You came, Derek said softly, stepping closer. She nodded. You asked. He studied her eyes, dark, unreadable. I wanted a real conversation, he murmured, without the show, without the lies. Amanda's heart pounded. Before she could answer, he added, voice low, because the truth is, I can't stop thinking about you. The words hit her like a wave. Her knees almost buckled, but she masked it with a smile. This is business, Derek. He smiled, slow, Dangerous. Is it? He moved closer, heat radiating from his body. Amanda, his voice dropped. 4 years ago, I made the worst mistake of my life. Leaving you, walking away. She swallowed. You had your reasons. His gaze sharpened. I did, but none good enough. A beat. Do you hate me? He asked quietly. Amanda's heart cracked. Hate him? No. She hated herself for still feeling this pull. Tears burned her eyes. It doesn't matter. But Derek's voice softened, a rough whisper. It matters to me. And before she could speak, before logic could stop her, he reached out and brushed a stray curl from her cheek. A simple touch. But her body shivered. Old desires surged. Dangerous, addictive. And Amanda knew she was losing control. The secret trembled on the edge. And soon, it would shatter everything. Amanda had come to Derek's house prepared to be strong, prepared to keep the mask on, prepared to remember this was business. But now, standing in the dimly lit living room of his Banana Island mansion, with the Lagos skyline twinkling beyond the glass, she could feel the mask cracking. Because when Derek Khalifa looked at her like that, with heat, with hunger, with guilt, she was no longer the cool PR woman. She was the girl who had once given him everything and carried his secret for 4 long years. Dinner's ready, Derek said softly. She followed him to the dining room, a long glass table set for 2, soft jazz playing low in the background. Candles flickered. A private chef had prepared a stunning 3-course meal. Amanda's throat tightened. This wasn't business. This was intimate, personal, dangerous. But she sat, her heart thundering. They ate in silence for a few minutes, Derek watching her closely. Finally, he spoke. Amanda, tell me something. She met his gaze, wary. What? He set down his wine glass, voice low. Why did you disappear after that night? Her breath caught. You left first, she wanted to scream. You vanished. You broke me. But instead, she forced her voice even. We both disappeared, Derek. He frowned. That wasn't what I wanted. Amanda gave a small, bitter smile. You didn't leave a number or a word. What was I supposed to think? Silence, heavy. Then softer, rougher. I had reasons. Business, family. It wasn't safe back then. She swallowed hard. And for a second, his eyes burned with old regret. I never stopped thinking about you, he admitted. 4 years. And still, Amanda's heart twisted. She looked away, forcing strength into her voice. We can't change the past. But when she glanced back, Derek's gaze had shifted. Sharper, searching, almost suspicious. Amanda, his voice dropped. There's something you're not telling me. Her breath hitched. I see it every time we're near children. The way you look at them, the way your eyes flicker. Panic flared in her chest. I don't know what you're talking about, she lied quickly. But Derek leaned closer, voice a soft threat. I know you, better than you think, and I feel it. You're hiding something. Amanda's heart pounded. Her hands trembled under the table. She could feel the walls closing in. If he found out now here, like this, what would happen? Tears burned her throat. I should go, she whispered, standing too quickly. But Derek rose too tall, imposing. Not yet, he said, voice low. Please. Their eyes locked, raw tension crackling in the air. And before Amanda could run, before logic could save her, Derek stepped forward. One strong hand cupped her cheek. Amanda, he breathed, tell me the truth. Her breath came in shallow bursts. Tell him, just tell him. But the words wouldn't come. Because one look at him, this man who had once broken her heart, and she knew. If he rejected Pearl, it would destroy her. So instead, she did the only thing she could. She lied. There's nothing to tell, she whispered, but her eyes shimmered, betraying her. For a long, long moment, Derek studied her. Then with a curse under his breath, he stepped back, running a hand through his hair. I shouldn't have pushed, he said roughly. Amanda forced her voice steady. I should go. This time he let her. But as she walked to the door, her heart breaking, he called after her softly. This isn't over, Amanda. I'm not giving up. Her breath caught, but she didn't look back, because if she did, she would shatter. That night in her tiny apartment, Amanda held Pearl close, tears slipping silently down her cheeks. Mama, the little girl whispered sleepily, why are you sad? Amanda kissed her soft curls. I'm not sad, my love, just tired. But deep inside, she knew the truth. She wasn't tired. She was terrified. Because Derek was too close now, too sharp, too determined. And if one more crack appeared in her mask, the secret would come spilling out, and everything would change. The following week passed in a haze. Amanda tried to stay focused, PR briefs, client meetings, press releases. But no matter how hard she worked, one truth refused to leave her mind. Derek was getting closer. His gaze lingered longer. His questions grew sharper. The air between them pulsed with tension, and Amanda's walls were starting to crack. At night, in the quiet of her small apartment, she held Pearl close, her heart aching. How much longer could she keep the secret? But the answer came sooner than she expected. It was a Friday morning when the invitation arrived. A bright yellow envelope in Pearl's backpack. You are invited to Sunshine Academy's Parent-Child Day this Saturday at 11 a.m. Amanda's heart skipped. She had planned to skip it to avoid unnecessary eyes, but Pearl had been looking forward to it all month. You promised, Mama, the little girl beamed. You'll come, right? Amanda couldn't say no. She would go, quietly. No drama, or so she thought. Saturday morning, Amanda dressed Pearl carefully, a pretty pink dress, white sandals, curls and little puffs. The little girl beamed. Do I look like a princess, Mama? Amanda kissed her cheek. You look perfect, my love. For herself, Amanda chose a simple navy wrap dress, modest, elegant. She told herself this was safe. Just a school event. No one important would be there. But as they arrived at Sunshine Academy, the prestigious private school in Ikoya, her breath caught. Because in the crowd of luxury cars and designer sunglasses stood Derek Khalifa, tall, imposing, effortlessly commanding in dark jeans and a crisp white shirt. Amanda froze. What was he doing here? Before she could retreat, his gaze swept the crowd and locked onto her. Shock flickered in his eyes, then something darker. He started toward her. Amanda's heart pounded. Pearl, oblivious, tugged her hand. Come on, Mama. The games are starting. There was no escape. Amanda drew a breath, lifting her chin and walked forward. Fancy seeing you here, Derek said quietly as he reached her side. Amanda forced a polite smile. It's my daughter's school. His brow arched. You never mentioned a daughter. A chill slid down her spine. Before she could answer, a teacher called out, Parents and children, please gather for the group games. Pearl tugged her hand again. Mama, come on. Amanda hesitated, but Derek spoke, voice soft. Go, I'll watch. Under his sharp gaze, she had no choice. Moments later, Amanda and Pearl joined the other parents and children on the grassy field. Laughter rang out as games began. Sack races, obstacle courses, little feet running with joy. But from the corner of her eye, Amanda could feel Derek watching. And when Pearl laughed that bright, infectious giggle, Amanda saw it. The flicker in Derek's eyes. The recognition. He tilted his head, watching Pearl closer now, brows drawn, something shifting in his gaze. Amanda's stomach twisted. He was seeing it, the resemblance. Pearl's smile, her eyes, the stubborn tilt of her chin, all echoes of him. And Amanda knew this was dangerous. Later, after the games, refreshments were served under white tents. Pearl skipped ahead, clutching her balloon. Amanda grabbed 2 water bottles, trying to calm her nerves. But Derek found her stepping into her space, voice low. She's beautiful, he said quietly. Amanda's heart thudded. Thank you. she whispered. He studied her gaze, dark, intense. How old is she? Amanda swallowed hard. 4. A beat of silence. Derek's jaw tightened. His eyes burned with unspoken questions. Amanda. His voice was rough. Is she? Amanda's heart stopped. But before he could finish, Pearl ran up, eyes shining. Mama, look! She held up a glittery ribbon. I won 2nd place. Amanda bent, hugging her. I'm so proud of you, my love. Derek crouched beside them, gaze flickering between mother and child. And when Pearl looked up, her big dark eyes meeting his, something clicked. For one breathless second, the truth trembled on the edge. But Pearl only smiled. Hi, mister, she chirped. Derek's voice was soft. Hello, sweetheart. He glanced at Amanda, gaze full of meaning. This isn't over, he said quietly. And Amanda knew the walls were falling. Soon, he would know everything. By the time Amanda got home that afternoon, her heart was still racing. Pearl had fallen asleep in the back seat of the Uber, blissfully unaware of the storm her innocent smiles had stirred. But Amanda knew. The look in Derek's eyes, the way he had studied Pearl, he suspected now. And it was only a matter of time. Amanda tucked her daughter into bed, her hands trembling. Then she sat alone in the living room, staring at the blank wall. For 4 years, she had carried this secret, shielding Pearl from the media, from judgment, from a father who might not want her. Now, that shield was crumbling. What will he do, she wondered, when he knows the truth? Would he be angry? Betrayed? Would he try to take Pearl away? Amanda's throat tightened with fear. But no matter what, she would fight. Pearl was her life, her heart, her world, and she would protect her even from Derek Khalifa. The message came that evening. We need to talk, now. Amanda's chest tightened. Before she could reply, another message buzzed. I'm outside. Her heart leapt. She moved to the window, and there, parked below, was Derek's black SUV. Tension coiled through her. There was no escape now. Amanda drew a deep breath, glanced at the bedroom where Pearl slept, and opened the door. Derek stood on the landing, tall, imposing, eyes blazing. Not in a suit this time, just black jeans and a simple shirt, but the raw power in him was unmistakable. Amanda, he said low, voice rough. We're done playing games. Her throat tightened. Pearl is sleeping. His gaze sharpened. Then let's not wake her. He stepped inside, closing the door behind him. And suddenly in the small apartment, the air turned electric. Amanda's breath quickened. Derek, what are you doing here? He faced her dark eyes burning. I saw her today, he said quietly. I saw the way she smiled, the way she looked at me, the way she looks like... He broke off, running a hand through his hair. Don't lie to me again, Amanda. Her heart pounded. The moment she had feared was here. I need the truth, Derek said. Is she mine? Amanda's breath caught. Her legs felt weak. She tried to speak, to spin another lie, but the words stuck. Because when she looked into his eyes, all she saw was the man who had once held her, who had once broken her, who still made her heart race. Tears burned her throat. She couldn't lie anymore. Her voice shook. Yes, she whispered. She's yours. The words hung in the air, heavy, final. Derek's eyes closed, his jaw tightening. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then low and rough. How long have you known? Amanda's tears spilled. Since the beginning. I tried to tell you, but you were gone. You left. There was no way. He cut her off. You had my number. You had my best friend, your brother. I was scared, she cried, voice breaking. I was alone. I didn't know how you'd react. And then, so much time passed. I couldn't just appear one day and say, surprise, you have a daughter. Her voice cracked with pain. I was protecting her. Derek's eyes burned. Protecting her from me? He asked bitterly. Amanda's heart shattered. No, she whispered. From the media, from your world, from rejection. A beat of silence. Then Derek turned away, fist clenched. 4 years, he muttered. 4 years, Amanda. You kept her from me. Tears streamed down her face. I'm sorry, she whispered, but I did what I thought was right. For a long moment, only silence filled the room. Then Derek faced her, raw emotion in his eyes. I need to see her, he said quietly. Amanda froze. I want to meet my daughter, he said, voice trembling. Now. Fear gripped her. She's asleep, Amanda whispered, and she doesn't know you. Derek's voice was softer now, but no less fierce. Then tell her, soon, because this isn't over, Amanda. He stepped closer, towering over her, gaze locked on hers. I lost you once, he said roughly. I will not lose her too. Then he turned striding to the door. But before leaving, he paused, voice low. You should have told me, Amanda. You should have trusted me. And with that, he was gone, leaving Amanda trembling in the silence. That night, she lay awake, tears staining her pillow as Pearl slept peacefully beside her. Her secret was out. The man she had once loved, her brother's best friend, now knew the truth. And Amanda's world would never be the same. Amanda barely slept. The next morning, she watched the dawn break through her thin curtains, heart heavy with dread. Derek knew now. The secret she had guarded for 4 years was no longer hidden. Her life had been built on protecting Pearl, her sweet, innocent girl. Now everything was at risk. Amanda's thoughts spun. Would Derek fight her? Would he want custody? Would he destroy the quiet life they had built? And beneath all that fear, another question burned. Could she trust him with her heart again? A knock at the door pulled her from her thoughts. Her chest tightened. It was too early for anyone else. When she opened the door, Derek stood there. Not in his usual polished suit, but simple jeans, white shirt, tension in every line of his tall frame. Amanda, he said quietly, we need to talk. She swallowed hard, stepping back. Pearl was still asleep. Derek stepped inside, his gaze softer than the night before, but no less determined. I didn't sleep, he admitted. All night, thinking about her, about you. Amanda hugged herself. I was scared. I know, Derek said, but I can't lose another moment with her. He looked toward the small bedroom. I want to meet my daughter. Amanda's breath caught. I don't know if she's ready. You're a stranger to her. Then let me change that, he said softly. Please. Tears filled her eyes. He wasn't shouting now. He wasn't cold. He was vulnerable. She drew a shaky breath. I need to tell her first. Give her time. Derek nodded. Then tell her now. An hour later, Pearl sat on Amanda's lap, her curls still mussed from sleep, clutching her teddy bear. Mama, why are you sad? She asked softly. Amanda kissed her temple. I'm not sad, my love. I want to tell you something important. Pearl's big brown eyes blinked up at her. You know how sometimes you ask about your daddy? Pearl nodded slowly. Well, he's here. He wants to meet you. The little girl's eyes widened. My daddy? She whispered. Amanda's voice broke. Yes, baby. His name is Derek, and he would really love to say hello. Pearl was quiet for a moment. Then in her small voice, okay. Amanda led her into the living room, her heart pounding. Derek rose to his feet, his breath catching when he saw Pearl. His gaze softened, something raw and unspoken flickering in his dark eyes. For a long second, he couldn't move. Then voice rough. Hello, sweetheart. Pearl clung to Amanda's hand, shy. But Derek crouched to her level, his towering frame folding down, trying to seem less intimidating. I'm your daddy, he said softly. Pearl blinked, studying him with wide eyes. You're really my daddy? Derek swallowed. Yes, sweetheart, and I'm so happy to meet you. Amanda's throat tightened. For 4 years, she had imagined this moment, feared it, dreamed of it. And now, it was happening. Pearl took a tiny step forward. "Do you like teddy bears?" she asked, holding out her toy. Derek smiled, a soft, genuine smile Amanda hadn't seen in years. "I love teddy bears," he said, "and I think yours is the nicest one I've ever seen." Pearl beamed. And just like that, the ice melted. The little girl skipped closer, babbling about her toys, her school, her drawings. Derek listened intently, his gaze drinking her in, wonder and regret mingling in his eyes. Amanda stood to the side, tears blurring her vision. In that moment, she saw it. He wasn't just a billionaire. He wasn't just her brother's best friend. He was a father. And part of her heart whispered, maybe, just maybe, Pearl could have him in her life. But another part warned this was only the beginning. And the road ahead would be anything but simple. The next few days passed in a blur. Derek came by every afternoon, sometimes with little gifts, sometimes just to sit on the floor and let Pearl chatter away about her drawings and her favorite cartoons. And Amanda couldn't deny it, her daughter was happier. Pearl laughed more, glowed more. And watching Derek with her, Amanda's heart ached. Because despite her fears, despite the pain of the past, she saw it clearly now. Derek loved this child already, and Pearl adored him in return. But beneath that fragile happiness, tension simmered, because Derek wanted more. "Come with me," he said one afternoon, as Pearl napped. "Where?" Amanda asked cautiously. "To my house, for the weekend, both of you." Amanda stiffened. "Derek, no." "Why not?" His voice was soft but firm. "She's my daughter. I want her in my life, and I want you there too." Amanda shook her head, heart racing. "It's too soon. Pearl needs time, and so do I." A beat of silence. Then Derek added, voice low, "Tunde needs to know." Amanda froze. Her brother, her protective big brother, Derek's best friend. The one man who would explode if he knew what they'd done and what Amanda had hidden. "I'll tell him," Derek said, "but I'd rather do it with you." Amanda's throat tightened. "Tunde will hate us," she whispered. Derek met her gaze. "Then let him. He deserves the truth." That evening, Amanda's phone buzzed. A message from her brother. "Can we meet tomorrow? Heard you've been seen a lot with Derek lately." Her stomach twisted. Somehow the rumors had reached Tunde, and there would be no more running. The next afternoon, Amanda met her brother at his favorite lounge in Ikoyi. Tunde was already waiting, tall, broad, protective as always, his gaze sharp the moment she approached. "You look nervous," he said, frowning. Amanda forced a smile. "I needed to tell you something." Before she could begin, Tunde cut in, voice hard. "Is it about Derek? Because I swear, Amanda, if he's messing with you again—" "It's not that," she whispered, but her voice trembled. Tunde's gaze darkened. "What is it then?" Amanda's throat closed. She had rehearsed the words all night, but now they stuck. Finally, through tears, "I have a daughter." Tunde blinked. "What?" "She's 4. Her name is Pearl, and—" A long pause. "She's Derek's." Silence. For a heartbeat, the busy lounge seemed to freeze. Tunde's face turned to stone. "You... what?" he rasped. Amanda's tears spilled. "I didn't mean for it to happen. It was one night, and when I found out, he was gone." Tunde shot to his feet, fury blazing. "You kept this from me? You let my best friend walk around not knowing he had a child?" Amanda sobbed. "I was scared. I didn't know how to tell you. Or him." Tunde raked a hand through his hair, pacing. Then, voice rough with betrayal. "And now what? He knows?" She nodded. "And what's your playing happy family now?" "No," she cried. "I'm trying to protect Pearl." But Tunde's jaw clenched. "This changes everything, Amanda. Everything." He turned away, fists shaking. And in that moment, Amanda's heart broke. Because not only had she lost her secret, she was losing her brother's trust too. That night, Derek called. "How did it go?" he asked softly. Amanda wiped fresh tears. He hates us. Derek's voice was quiet. Let him. He'll come around. Pearl is what matters. Amanda's breath trembled. I'm scared, Derek. But his voice was stronger now. Don't be. I'm here now. For her. For you. And for the first time, Amanda wondered, could they really become a family? Or would the past always pull them apart? Tunde wasted no time. By early morning, he was at Derek's Banana Island mansion unannounced, furious. The guards barely had time to open the gates before Tunde stormed inside. Derek, in his private study, looked up as his old friend burst through the door. Tunde, he said calmly, rising. I was expecting this. But Tunde's eyes blazed. How dare you, he growled. How dare you touch my sister, lie to me, disappear and now waltz back into her life as if nothing happened. Derek stood tall, his gaze steady. I never lied, he said quietly. I didn't know. Tunde's fist clenched. You should have never touched her in the first place. A tense silence. Then Derek spoke, voice low but fierce. And now that I know I won't walk away. Pearl is my daughter. I will be in her life. Tunde's jaw tightened. Over my dead body. But Derek stepped closer. This isn't about you. Or pride. It's about her. About what's best for Pearl. Tunde faltered. For a heartbeat, the anger in his eyes flickered, replaced by pain. My sister was alone, Derek, he rasped. You left her. You broke her. She raised that child by herself. Derek's voice broke. I know, and I will never forgive myself for that. He swallowed hard. But I love my daughter, and I will do right by her, by both of them, no matter what it takes. The two men stood locked in silence, years of friendship hanging in the balance. Finally, Tunde's voice dropped. You'd better mean that, he warned, because if you hurt them again, there won't be a second chance. Derek nodded. I won't. That afternoon, Derek arrived at Amanda's flat flowers in one hand, a small box of pastries in the other. Pearl squealed with delight. Daddy! Amanda's heart squeezed. It still felt strange hearing that word, watching Pearl race into Derek's arms. But it was also beautiful, because no matter her fears, one truth was clear now. Derek was a good father. And Pearl loved him. The little girl climbed into his lap, babbling about her school drawings. Derek listened with full attention, his eyes soft, his voice gentle. Amanda watched from the kitchen, tears in her eyes. Could they really have this? A real family? Or was she dreaming too much again? Later, when Pearl napped, Derek and Amanda sat together, the unspoken questions thick in the air. Tunde came to see me, Derek said quietly. Amanda's breath caught. I know. He was angry. He has every right, Derek admitted. I failed you both. Silence. Then he added, voice low. But I won't fail again. Amanda looked at him, her heart in her throat. Derek, what do you want from us? He met her gaze, unwavering. Everything, he said softly. Time with my daughter. A chance to be her father. He hesitated, then even softer. And if you'll let me, a second chance with you. Amanda's breath hitched. The walls around her heart trembled. I don't know if I can trust you again, she whispered. Derek reached across the small table, his hand covering hers. Then let me prove it, he said, one day at a time. Amanda's tears spilled. Was it foolish to hope? Or was it the beginning of something real? That night, as Pearl slept and Amanda lay awake staring at the ceiling, one truth echoed louder than all her fears. Derek wasn't giving up. And for the first time, neither was she. 2 weeks later, Amanda stood in the sunlit courtyard of Derek's mansion, watching as Pearl chased butterflies across the lawn. The little girl's laughter rang through the air, pure, bright. And beside Amanda, Derek stood quietly, hands in his pockets, gaze soft as he watched his daughter. You were right, Amanda whispered. She needed this. Derek looked at her, something raw and tender in his eyes. We both did. It hadn't been easy. Since the truth had come out, the press had gone wild. Rumors swirled. Gossip columns buzzed. Tunde still struggled protective, wary. But Derek had kept his word. Every day he showed up. Not as a billionaire, not as a powerful tycoon, but as a father. Patient, present, loving. And Amanda couldn't deny it anymore. Her heart was softening. That evening, as Pearl slept upstairs, her favorite teddy tucked in close, Derek and Amanda sat together in the quiet living room. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then Derek broke the silence, voice low, rough. I've been thinking. Amanda glanced at him, heart fluttering. I want to give Pearl everything I can, he said. Not just money. A home, a family. He turned toward her, eyes dark and earnest. And I want you in that family, Amanda. Her breath caught. Derek? But he reached for her hand, strong, warm. I know I hurt you. I know I don't deserve forgiveness overnight. But I love you. I always have. Tears shimmered in Amanda's eyes. And I want to spend the rest of my life proving it. A soft, trembling silence. Then Derek added, voice even softer. Marry me. Amanda gasped, tears spilling freely now. Derek, are you sure? He smiled, raw, hopeful. More sure than I've ever been of anything. Her heart swelled. This man, her brother's best friend, the one who had broken her once, was here now. Steady, changed. Not just for her, but for their daughter. And in that moment, Amanda knew. She didn't have to be afraid anymore. Because sometimes, love deserved a second chance. With trembling joy, she whispered, yes. Weeks later, in a small private ceremony away from the media glare, Amanda and Derek exchanged vows beneath a canopy of white roses. Pearl skipped between them, the happiest flower girl. Tunde stood nearby, arms crossed, still scowling, but with a proud glimmer in his eyes. And when Derek kissed his bride, their daughter giggled and clapped. And for the first time, they were a family, whole, healing, together. The afternoon sun poured through the wide windows of the Khalifa family home, filling the rooms with warmth. In the spacious backyard, a small gathering buzzed with life, family, close friends, the people who mattered most. At the center of it all, Amanda stood beneath a canopy of blooming jacarandas, her smile radiant, laughter dancing on her lips. Nearby, Derek knelt beside a low table, helping Pearl with her paintbrush. Careful now, he said gently, or the butterfly will turn into a frog. Pearl giggled. No, Daddy, it's a princess butterfly. Derek chuckled, a deep, soft sound Amanda loved more every day. Watching them together, her heart swelled. 1 year ago, none of this seemed possible. But now, they were here. A family. Married. Happy. Healing. Pearl's joy had only grown brighter with each passing day. And Derek, the man once feared by boardrooms and headlines, was now a father who never missed a bedtime story, a school play, or a quiet Saturday in the park. Amanda still worked balancing her PR career with motherhood. But now there was balance, support, love. Even Tunde, though still protective, had softened. That afternoon, he arrived with a gift in hand, a pink bicycle for Pearl. I'm still watching you, Khalifa, he grumbled good-naturedly. Derek grinned. I'd expect nothing less. Amanda laughed, a soft, content sound. Because in the end, they had all fought for this. Fought past pride, pain, and fear. And love had won. Later that night, when the house had quieted and Pearl slept upstairs, Amanda and Derek curled together on the living room couch, the city lights twinkling beyond the glass. Derek pressed a kiss to her temple. Thank you, he whispered. For what? For forgiving me, for giving us a second chance. Amanda's eyes shimmered. You gave us this too, she said softly. You came back. Their fingers intertwined, warm, steady. And in that perfect, quiet moment, Amanda knew. She had loved him once foolishly. Now, she loved him fully. And this time, forever meant forever. Dear viewers, what lesson did you take away from this dramatic tale? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.